welcome you to the Toyota Center, Houston, Texas, for Game 1 of our TNT doubleheader. The San Antonio Spurs facing the Houston Rockets. Hi, everybody. Marv Albin along with Steve Kerr and Craig Sager. Tim Duncan and his Spurs coming in at 16-4. Last night, they lost at home to the surging Seattle Sonics. That ended San Antonio's win streak at 8. They had won 21 straight at home, while the Rockets, with a record of 8-11, Houston has won its last 2 after dropping 5 straight. And head coach Jeff Van Gundy feels they need a prolific game from Tracy McGrady, who last Thursday night here on TNT erupted for the 48 points in that shootout with Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas. So look at the starting lineups first. For the Rockets, McGrady joined by Bobby Sur, Yao Ming the center, Ryan Bowen making his 3rd straight start, Jim Jackson out with a back problem, Juwan Howard at the other forward spot. For the San Antonio Spurs, who on the road have won 8 and lost 3. Starting lineup led by Tim Duncan, who comes in averaging 22 points, 12 rebounds, 3 block shots. Bruce Bowen, Rasho Nesterovic, that's the front line, Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker in the backcourt. The officials, Derek Stafford, Jason Phillips, and Tom Washington. The San Antonio Spurs swept the Rockets last season, took all 4 games, and Steve, San Antonio has won the last 7 against Houston.
Very difficult matchup for Houston. The Spurs are 23-4 versus the Rockets since Tim Duncan arrived for the 1995-96 season. And it's no coincidence. I mean, he's dominated a lot of people, but this is a team he's really had a lot of success against.
There's a problem with Juwan Howard's mouthpiece. So we had that brief delay, and Rockets control the opening tip. McGrady being guarded by Bowen, as you would expect. And this is Ryan Bowen. Here is McGrady firing away.
What an advantage San Antonio has to be able to put Bruce Bowen on the opposition's best scorer and not have to worry about double teaming. He reminds me a lot, if you use a football analogy, Deion Sanders would just close off one side of the field, a shutdown guy. That's what Bruce Bowen does for the Spurs. It allows everybody else to defend their own guy.
And you recall last year, Steve, there were several players who complained about the tactics of Bruce Bowen. Here's Nesterovic. Nesterovic played only 11 minutes last night, did not play in the second half at all against Seattle. Sur met on the switch by Ginobili. Last year, Ray Allen, Vince Carter upset with some of the tactics as Yao Ming was able to start. They refer to Bruce Bowen as being a dirty player. We were talking with Bruce prior to the game about that. I said, is there anything between you and Tracy McGrady? Maybe something we can stir up for television purposes? He said, do not start. Ginobili had to kick it out. Shot clock is down to 5. Parker with that teardrop and the tip by Nesterovic.
Well, I told Bruce, even if T-Mac hasn't said anything, I'm sure he doesn't like you either. Most people don't like Bruce Bowen. He just gets into people and bothers them. Toughest one-on-one defender in the NBA on the perimeter.
This is Ryan Bowen. Shot clock down to 5. McGrady puts behind the back and has to kick it out. Down to 2, down to 1. Sur fires from downtown.
Now you see right away, McGrady gets a step past Bowen, and there's Nesterovic waiting for him, and that's what the Spurs do. Those big guys come over and help at the block every possession.
And Tony Parker knocks down the 3.
Struggled with his game early on, Marv, with his shooting, but he's bounced back nicely here the last couple of weeks.
Spurs now lead it 5-2. They double up on Yao Ming. Blocked by Nesterovic. Handled by McGrady. Here's Howard. It counts. And the foul. So Juwan Howard is headed to the line.
Spurs are an excellent shot blocking team, but sometimes what can happen, Marv, you block a shot, all of a sudden the offensive rebound goes right back to Tracy McGrady. He makes the nice feed. Not a lot of contact there on Howard, but he'll go to the line and finish off the three-point play if he can.
Foul charge to Bruce Bowen. And we saw right at the start the crowding of Yao Ming talking with Greg Popovich prior to the game. He said that's what they plan to do all night long. They said Yao doesn't always react well when he's being fronted.
Well, that's the scouting report around the league. Everybody's going to try to front him, double team him, try to use the speed that has bothered him so far in his first few years in the league.
Here's Duncan over Howard and handled by McGrady.
Nice job by Howard keeping Duncan out of the lane. That's going to be a focus for the Rockets all night long. Keep him from getting that deep position.
Surr to the crossover. Parker hanging in, not allowing Surr to unleash a shot. Ryan Bowen, who does not look to shoot, gives it up. Here's Howard. Kept alive by Ryan Bowen. He is all energy. Bowen to the reverse. And last touch by the Spurs.
Gotta love Ryan Bowen. Jeff Van Gundy inserted him into the lineup. Remember a couple weeks ago, Van Gundy said, we're just not getting enough energy. Well, if there's one thing Bowen provides, it's energy. The problem is not a great scorer, so Houston trying to make up for that in other areas.
Ryan Bowen, originally a second-round pick of Denver, and spent 5 years as a member of the Nuggets in the starting lineup because of the back injury suffered by Jim Jackson, a guy that they really miss. Foul is called. It is on Nesterovic. There is Jim Jackson, who's hit with the flu, as opposed to flu-like symptoms, as you like to point out.
He doesn't have a high ankle sprain, though, does he?
No, it's back spasms.
He is so important for this team because he provides that third scorer for the Rockets, and he's frequently the one who's left open on the double teams and gets those open three-point looks from the corner.
Shot clock down to 2, and Ryan Bowen has to shoot again. It's a 24-second violation. Ball did not hit the rim, and Greg Popovich has to be very pleased with that defensive sequence.
Well, it's getting to be commonplace for this team to just lock people down. They have replaced Detroit, I think, this season as the best defensive club in the NBA. Detroit not playing with the same passion that they did a year ago, but the Spurs are there every single night, just closing teams off.
Nice play, Nesterovic for Duncan, and a foul. It's on Yao Ming. You hear the reaction from the crowd as Yao is called for his first.
It's so tough for Yao Ming and for Jeff Van Gundy. You know, those big guys battle down there so hard, and a little touch play like that becomes a foul. That's a tough one to swallow.
Here's Ginobili for 3. Manu Ginobili, who is averaging 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Spurs now lead at 8-5.
Came as a result of Bobby Surr's attempt at a steal, as we see Tim Duncan's block.
Parker. Tony Parker, one-man fast break off that gorgeous rejection by Duncan.
Spurs once again are in the top 4 or 5 in the NBA in block shots. Having 2 7-footers down there makes it awfully tough, as we see again.
This time was Ginobili able to block Howard. Parker wide open for 3. Good job by Nesterovic. Played well here at the start. I think there was a message last night. Played only 11 minutes, sat out the second half against the Sonics. Timeout is called with 7:15 to play in this first quarter. San Antonio with a 3-point lead.
You left Rusty alone in your apartment?
It's okay. I got him one of those shot collars.
Oh, that's so cruel.
No. It's part of his training.
Can I get you a Bud Light? My roommate's got some in the fridge.
Thanks, Rusty.
Cool.
Fresh, smooth, real Bud Light.
So what's up? You want to hang in or you want to go?
It's all here. as a destination for everyone.
Hello, children. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, T.O.'s the best receiver in the NFL. I know that don't rhyme, but y'all know it's true. And out on the hardwood, what else do we know? When Ben Wallace jams it, you must fear the throw. Check out that slap shot, Martin, St. Louis, while Josh Childress is driving and pumping the three. With me up in Philly, the Eagles take flight. 'Tis the season for giving, but receiving's all right.
This season, give ESPN 2K5 video games. Rated E for everyone.
Nowitzki from way out.
I love this game because the guys are really cute.
Because of Kevin Garnett's passion.
Why do I love this game? Why not, baby? Unbelievable!
I love this game for the drama it brings to fame.
Crossover! Onions! I love this game because it gets my heart pumping. It gets loud, baby! Yeah!
Watch Law & Order weeknights starting at 7 only on TNT. The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real, it's all here. By IBM, making on-demand business a reality for companies around the world. By ESPN 2K5 video games. This season, score big with the entire line, each only $19.99. And by Adidas Basketball, home of the new T-Mac 4.
The ring must be destroyed.
Experience the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring.
Cannot do this alone.
3 nights in a row. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Starting tomorrow night at 8, only on TNT.
Welcome back to the Toyota Center, Houston, Texas. And this will be the site for the 2006 All-Star Game, All-Star Weekend. The announcement made this past Tuesday by NBA Commissioner David Stern, Rockets owner Les Alexander. They double up on Sura. They look to Stratton, and Sura has to call for time.
Jeff Van Gundy absolutely livid. Hates to use those timeouts early, but Sura found himself in a terrible spot. That corner where you really have nowhere to go. He's got 2 big guys on him. Not much he could do.
Houston Rockets just 2 of 11 here from the field at the start. Steve, they have missed their last 5 shots. 3 of the 9 misses have been blocked. They are scoreless the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It may well be a long night for the Rockets.
Could
here.
be. You know, we talked to Jeff Van Gundy earlier. I said, Jeff, how are you going to match up with the Spurs? He said, not very well. And he said, you know, we may struggle to score 50 points against this team. And we all know Jeff. He's got that sort of gallows humor about him. He loves to talk about his doom, but look at this defense here. Spurs #1 in the NBA in field goal percentage, and they do an excellent job blocking shots at the rim, and they've got this guy, Bruce Bowen, who's all over Tracy McGrady.
Yao Ming with a jump hook handled by Nesterovic. As Tracy McGrady has had a difficult time getting looks here in the early going, as he has been swallowed up by Bruce Bowen to this point. Duncan backs his way on Howard. And the other factor tonight, they missed Jim Jackson, who is a long-range threat. Nice move by McGrady to set it up. Yao fumbled it. Yao with the recovery and is fouled. Hit from behind by Nesterovic.
I think you're exactly right, Marv. You talk about the absence of Jim Jackson. You see McGrady, they're driving to the hoop. Well, the Spurs can offer a lot more help without Jackson's presence out there. They don't have any shooters out there. The Rockets don't. So without that man, now all of a sudden you've got Ryan Bowen in the corner who's not used to shooting that shot. You've got Bob Sura, who's more of a penetrator himself. Spurs can really commit themselves to covering McGrady at the rim.
Correction on that foul. It's on Duncan, his first, not Nesterovic. Yao Ming, 81% at the line last season. Sura able to get to it. Howard setting the pick. And Yao not able to handle that bullet pass from McGrady.
Beautiful feed from McGrady. And then Yao was upset that he didn't catch it. Did you see what he did? He took a swipe at the backboard without jumping. How many guys can do that, Marv?
Devin Brown, who has played very well for San Antonio, has checked in for the first time. So Parker and Brown in the backcourt. Here's Parker attempting the teardrop. Good play by Sura to knock it aside, and it is last touched by the Rockets. And now Greg Popovich sending on Malik Rose for Rasho Nesterovic. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, how the Spurs react to last night's loss is still unfolding. However, if history tells us anything, it's that the Spurs do not go on losing streaks. Now in his 8th season, the most regular season games that Tim Duncan has lost in a row is just 3. Greg Popovich says talent is one thing, but he thinks that the professionalism that Duncan and his team displays is even more important. Jeff Van Gundy takes this a step further. He says coming off a loss, the Spurs are a machine. They do not beat themselves.
Well, San Antonio had won 21 straight at home prior to the loss last night to Seattle. You saw Tracy McGrady shaken up, but he's all right. And now Brent Barry comes on for the first time, and Brent has been struggling. Played only 6 minutes in the game against the Sonics last night.
It's been a difficult transition for Brent. A brand new team, brand new system. He's not shooting well and not defending well either, which is the main reason Greg Popovich has benched him.
Nice move. Beautiful footwork by Juwan Howard. So the Spurs now lead at 10-8. Big men on the floor for San Antonio. Duncan and Rose. Here's Duncan getting the step. Rebounded by Howard.
See McGrady coming over to double Duncan when he faces up. That's a part of Houston's strategy tonight.
And here comes Duncan. Rockets get back. Duncan to the crossover. Brown. Duncan being played by Yao with help. Nice play. Ryan Bowen came over and deflected it out of bounds.
Well, they'd like to hedge down there on Tim Duncan, dig as much as they can without fully committing to the double, because San Antonio, one of the best teams in the league at attacking the closeout. With guys like Ginobili, Parker, Brent Barry, very difficult after you double Duncan to contain those guys out on the perimeter.
Reese Gaines has come on, replacing Ryan Bowen. Reese Gaines, one-time member of the Orlando Magic, is only his 4th game with Houston. Here is Malik Rose. That is not his shot.
Probably a step outside of his range, and it's a shot that he's actually not taken a whole lot this year, as we see McGrady miss the 18-footer. Greg Popovich was telling us earlier he's really been pleased with Rose concentrating on defense and running the floor and not taking bad shots.
And that is a fast break that did not work.
Sloppy basketball here, Mark. 10-8 with almost 4 minutes left in the quarter. Been a little ugly so far.
And Steve, you know Jeff Van Gundy does not mind this this style of play.
Oh, I do. Can't we get something a little more entertaining?
There's McGrady. He lost it. And Parker on the run. And as Parker tried to get it to Brown, he's called for the traveling violation. So Rasho Nesterovic checks back in.
Well, you look at these numbers, and obviously Tim Duncan and David Robinson have a huge part in that. Two guys who really cover that rim area, but a lot of it is Greg Popovich's emphasis on defense. Of course, the Rockets there as well, perennially. Jeff Van Gundy's teams defend well. I think both coaches have a very similar philosophy as McGrady finally gets one to go.
Yes, those numbers put up there by 2 teams that were coached by Jeff Van Gundy. See a nice move by McGrady to draw the foul. It's called on Brown.
You know, Greg Popovich actually offered Jeff Van Gundy a job about 2 years ago after he had left the Knicks. I think both of them have a similar way of looking at the game of basketball. They want to defend first and foremost. They want to take care of the basketball. They're more inclined to play a slower style. I think in the last couple of years, Popovich has maybe adapted a little bit more to his personnel with Parker and Ginobili, but both guys really like that defensive emphasis.
At the time, Jeff said, no, I'd rather work with the czar and that other guy on television, and ended up with with TNT for a short time. We'll be right back.
On an all-new The Real Gilligan's Island.
Oh my God.
Suddenly, it's every castaway for himself.
I think you're a threat.
I'm a threat to
A big threat. I'm gonna vote my wife off.
The Real Gilligan's Island. See a new episode Tuesday at 8 on TBS.
The entirely new LR3 by Land Rover. There's a destination for everyone.
Truck shoppers, From Dodge is California's #1 heavy-duty truck dealer. And right now, we're overstocked with our largest inventory ever. This is your opportunity to save big. Trade-ins, credit problems, we need to make every possible deal, so we're stepping up like never before. In fact, bring us your best deal and let us go to work for you. We're #1 and we intend to stay #1. From Dodge. Off the 15 freeway at the 2nd Street exit in Orco. Call 1-888-50-DODGE.
There is a place where darkness battles light, and all that stands between them is the magic of one wizard.
Is my fate.
This December, Danny Glover.
You must become the hunter.
Isabella Rossellini. X-Men's Shawn Ashmore. Smallville's Kristen Kruk.
So this is our destiny.
A Sci-Fi Channel original miniseries. Legend of Earthsea. Premieres Monday, December 13th at 9 on Sci-Fi Channel.
Tonight's Player Strader is brought to you by Land Rover. We've got a little new technology here, Marv, something that the Czar probably wouldn't have been as sophisticated to use. But take a look what the Spurs like to do here. When they get a rebound, Tim Duncan is so good at running the floor, he will run directly to the block. Now, Tony Parker may have a pass over the top, but that's a very difficult pass to make. So Spurs prefer to feed the corner. Meanwhile, Duncan is sealing his man, catching in the lane, laying it up. It's something that Greg Popovich has employed really for the last 4 or 5 years with Duncan, and you usually see it at least once or twice a game.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
That's a debut.
How jealous is the Czar?
Beno Udrih, the rookie from Slovenia who has played well, has checked in for the first time. Barry not able to hit. Andre Barrett has come on for the first time for Houston, and he has played well. Comes off a career game the other night. So Barrett and Gaines now in the backcourt. Dikembe Mutombo up front along with Tracy McGrady and Juwan Howard. Here's McGrady forcing over Brown. Rebounded by Nesterovic.
Luxury for Greg Popovich to be able to bring in Devin Brown for Bowen, another excellent defender.
Just under 3 remaining in the first. Neither club has shot well. This is Udrih. And rebounded by Mutombo. Barrett the other night, 5 for 7 from the field, 14 points, career high, 10 of his 14 in the fourth quarter in the win over the Hornets on Tuesday here at home. Nesterovic kept alive, nice play by McGrady. Mutombo on the drive, and he is fouled by Nesterovic.
Well, Rasho made a terrific play to come over to help on McGrady's drive, and unfortunately for him, Mutombo gets the rebound and leaves Nesterovic in poor position to defend the next shot.
Looking for all the latest news on the NBA, watch NBA TV Insiders. That's every weeknight, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, to find out tomorrow's NBA news today. So Dikembe Mutombo hitting on his first, and the Rockets now lead it 12-10. Houston only 4 of 18 from the field. San Antonio 4 of 15. Spurs with just 2 points the last 5.5 minutes.
Well, I'm looking forward to listening to Charles Barkley at halftime. I don't know about you.
Charles is tuned to a Law and Order episode.
Already.
On another network.
Yeah, he may have given up already.
But we're early.
Long way to go. A lot of basketball to be played.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Shot clock down to 3. Rose passed on the shot. And McGrady able to come up with it.
First team to 50 wins, Marv.
Howard. And the poor shooting at both ends continues. Good hands by McGrady. Barrett pushing it. And Barrett pulls it back. Rookie out of Seton Hall. He was in camp with the New York Knicks. And Barrett with a beautiful move. Andre Barrett extending to a 15-10 Rocket lead.
Nice finish by the little guy. He's been shooting the ball well from the perimeter. That's an added bonus if he can knock down that shot.
Udrih. So he drills it. Veno Udrih from Slovenia. He has been groomed as the backup point guard for Tony Parker, first-round draft pick and the 28th selection overall.
What a find he's been for this team as Juwan Howard misses the jump hook. Udrih was the best point guard in Chicago at the pre-draft camp, and Spurs were in desperate need of a backup point guard. He's been a perfect fit.
Final minute of this first quarter. Here's McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady from downtown. So Tracy 2 of 7. He has 6 points. He has not shot well the last 2 games after that sensational performance last Thursday night against Dallas here on TNT. Nesterovic missed the tip. Mutombo's done a nice job off the boards.
The Spurs cannot get anything to go, and they wanted to get a 2-for-1 opportunity there, but Ginobili couldn't get the shot off early enough. Now just a 2-second differential, so Rockets will hold.
Down to 10 seconds left in the quarter. McGrady being played by Barry. Here's McGrady for 3. On the back tap, McGrady with another opportunity, heaves it.
That's the end of the first quarter. Your Houston Rockets.
So the Rockets with an 18-12 lead after 1. Here in Houston, San Antonio shooting only 5 of 20. And Houston just 6 of 24, but they end the quarter with a 12-2 run.
I'm not so sure about Jefferson.
You're no genius, are you? Listen, RJ has to meet the challenge. He can beat a guy from the arc. His team, he can beat a guy from the arc. His team needs him more than ever. Air Max Baller and all things Nike basketball in the House of Hoops, only at Foot Locker.
The entirely new LR3 by Land Rover. There's a destination for everyone.
And action.
Your life, now with instant replay. Shared instantly. Video phones from Nokia.
Thanks for sharing.
From Philips comes the only flat TV with built-in ambient light technology, which changes color with whatever you're watching, so you are completely surrounded by the experience. The new Philips Flat TV with Ambilight.
Now, mankind's greatest warrior will face the ultimate evil. I'm impressed. Blade Trinity, rated R. Now playing.
This place is a palace. Ours is a pit. Really nice offices.
Merci.
Our computers are bigger.
Our computers are smaller.
Smaller.
And they're twice as fast as the old ones.
Twice as fast. How'd you get those?
We dumped the big old ones on the New York office. Which office are you guys from?
We're from the New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Big productivity, small size. The IBM Ultra Small Desktop, featuring the Intel Pentium 4 processor with HD technology.
Something draws near. I can feel it. The movie that started it all.
They will find the ring and kill the one who carries it.
The ring mustn't be destroyed. Experience The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
I cannot do this alone.
3 nights in a row. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night.
If you want him, come and claim him.
Starting tomorrow night at 8, only on TNT. We know drama.
Back in Houston, second quarter about to get underway. For the Rockets, this is game 3 of a 6-game homestand, and they are in a stretch playing 9 of 10 here at home.
A chance for them to right their season, only 8-11 at this point, but they've got Atlanta, Golden State, Charlotte coming up, and a lot of home games, so this is their opportunity to get back into the race here.
Shot clock down to 3. Here's Barry. Both teams having difficulty locating shots. Ginobili able to control on the back tap.
It always works that way for a guy who's struggling like Brent Barry. You get the ball at the end of the shot clock with a terrible look at the rim. Thanks a lot.
Are you talking from experience?
As a matter of fact, I am. The other thing that happened to Barry, his first shot of the game, open look, rattles in and out, goes about halfway down. Those are the types of things. When you're struggling, everything just sort of seems to go wrong, and eventually he'll find his stroke. He's too good of a shooter not to, but boy, is it excruciating when you're going through it as a player.
Mo Taylor just checked in, able to go glass. Nice move as he backed his way on Malik Rose. Rockets 20 and the Spurs 12, and San Antonio really struggling. They are 5 for 22 from the field and playing sloppy in this first half. Tim Duncan makes his return, replacing Malik Rose.
Their bench has been so good this season, Marv, but really not able to get anything going here. So Popovich going back to Duncan and Parker and Bowen pretty quickly here in the second quarter.
San Antonio coming off a home loss last night. The Sonics have made it 2 out of 2 against the Spurs. In fact, they handled the Spurs their worst loss of the season. That was back in game 3, 113-94. Seattle shot 51%, and that's a high for a Spurs opponent this season.
Well, everybody's been saying now for a month, when is Seattle going to come back down to earth? Now, the Spurs knew they were good last night. Now, maybe the first one, they weren't prepared. They were ready last night, and Seattle still took it to them. So I think the Sonics may be for real.
16-3 now. McGrady picking it up. After the slow start, he has 8 points, and the Rockets lead by 10.
This is exactly the pace that Jeff Van Gundy had hoped for. Remember, he talked before the game about keeping San Antonio out of the paint. Well, so far, no penetration from Parker and Ginobili and company, and they've been keeping Duncan outside that area right where he is now.
Duncan able to get in closer. That's his first bucket. And that ends a 16-2 run by the Rockets.
It was a 16-2 run, Mark, but it took about 11 minutes, I think. So I don't know if you can call it a run, but I'll go with it.
A prolonged run.
Okay.
Nice pass. Taylor rejected. Mutombo, he is able to recover. And it's a 24-second violation. Now Bruce Bowen will check back in, as will Tony Parker. Barry and Udrih sit down.
Spurs have blocked 6 shots now, Marvin. You know, the numbers are a little deceiving. You look at Houston, you say, wow, they've got 7 offensive rebounds, but it's just because they keep getting their shots blocked and they land in their laps, and then San Antonio blocks another one.
Spurs are number 4 in that department, led by Duncan, who averages 3 a game. He's second to Andrei Kirilenko. Andrei Kirilenko 4 blocks per game, although he is sidelined on the injured list. Ginobili off a nice pass from Duncan.
Boy, does he do that well. I mean, that shot was over Dikembe Mutombo, one of the most difficult players in the league to get a shot over, but Ginobili using that long arm, that brilliant jumping ability, and great body control.
Bowen able to break it up. McGrady got his hand on it, so the Rockets get it back, and Gaines stepped out of bounds. So it will be San Antonio ball. And now Tony Massenberg will come on for San Antonio. So Greg Popovich doing lots of shuffling. Tony Massenberg in his first year with San Antonio, signed as a free agent, actually began his career with the Spurs. He is a well-traveled individual.
Easier to list the teams he hasn't played for, I think.
He is tied with Chucky Brown as Tim Duncan is able to bank it home for most teams played in the NBA. 12 teams in 13 years from Massenberg. Second stint, as I mentioned, with the Spurs. Had a couple of those with the Grizzlies. Offensive foul.
That's his first.
So the ball back to San Antonio. Foul called on Gaines.
Well, Tim Duncan doing his best to get the Spurs back into this game. First off the double team, the beautiful feed to Manu Ginobili, who finishes with his customary left-hand scoop. And then this is his go-to move right here. Right hand jump hook off the glass.
Monday nights on TNT. 2 hours, 2 cases, 2 great dramas. Monday nights belong to TNT. Watch Law & Order at 10, followed by Without a Trace at 11. Every Monday night on TNT.
Here we go. Move it here, move it there. Let's get it out. Move it here, move it there. Let's go. Move it here, move it there. What? Come on, let's go.
The all-new 2005 Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty. Perfect for whatever, whenever.
The Sharp Aquos Liquid Crystal Television. Truer color is the key.
Nintendo DS. Chat wirelessly, play wirelessly.
Well, we're trying to develop that still, I think. Hopefully it'll take on my personality of making those hustle plays, diving after loose balls, sticking your nose in on rebounds, stopping your man on defense. I think, we certainly have the talent, but we got to develop that toughness, that mentality to go out and stick it to people.
And for Bob Sawyer, his 6th game back after missing the first 14 with the back problem. See Tyronn Lue, he is on the injured list, torn cartilage in his right knee. Jim Jackson sidelined tonight, as is Charlie Ward, still on the injured list with a sore knee. Jackson out with a back problem.
Remember, Jeff Van Gundy last week said we've got to surround Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady with pit bulls. We've got to get guys who really get after it. Houston early in the season really seemed very soft. This new lineup seemingly quicker and faster to the ball.
Ginobili from downtown. And the Spurs are within one since Tim Duncan checked back in. It's a 9-0 run for San Antonio.
I love the unselfishness of Tony Parker as Taylor misses the shot. Parker had a layup underneath the basket, but found a wide open Ginobili. That sort of passing has been contagious on this Spurs team this year. One of the best passing teams in the NBA.
And a foul on the Rockets as Duncan took a shot on his forehead. Ryan Bowen called on the foul. You see +9 with Tim Duncan on the floor.
That's one of those "oh really" stats. They're better with Duncan on the floor. Oh really? I didn't know that. But you know, our viewers at home maybe.
Are you taking a shot at a statistical crew?
I am.
It's like the plus minus of the National Hockey League, and I agree with you. It's the same concept. Massenberg is tied up. Good play by Maurice Taylor.
You know that the Indianapolis Colts have a much better plus minus when Peyton Manning is on the field. I don't know if you followed that.
Well, see, that's unfair because if you take a quarterback who is successful when there's only one quarterback, basically we're going to go with.
He is Tim Duncan. He's a two-time MVP.
I agree.
Their plus minus will be better. I'm just trying to take a cheap shot at our guys.
It's terrible.
You know, ever since the Czar left, I've been searching for a punching bag.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
How about the Czar? His Grizzlies have won 3 of 4. And I know as Yao Ming is able to knock it down, I know that Mike Fratello is very busy with his new best friends like Paul Gasol and Bonzi Wells, Stromile Swift, Jason Williams. And crowd feeling that was last touched by San Antonio, but it goes to San Antonio. I know the Grizzlies are watching here. They have an off night, so we like to point out the Czar makes a great first impression, but the annoyance factor will set in within days.
Probably hours, Marvin. And we'll see what good friends those guys are to him when they lose a couple in a row.
Here's Duncan. Kept alive, another possession for the Spurs. 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Ginobili for 3. Yes! Manu Ginobili again from downtown, and San Antonio has tied the game at 24.
And again, the pass coming from Tony Parker, showing his maturity, moving the ball and getting his teammates involved.
Nice move by Yao Ming, stepping around Tony Massenberg to draw the foul.
This is the area Parker has really improved upon in the last year. He's such a scorer. He's got a scorer's mentality, but as a point guard, he realizes he's responsible for the team and for getting other people involved. And now all of a sudden you've got Ginobili knocking down 2 threes. You've got Duncan back in the game. This is more the Spurs team that we're used to.
And we were talking earlier with Greg Popovich about the dramatic improvement of Tony Parker the past couple of years. And you've seen it. You played with Tony in his rookie season.
Yeah. I think the improvement actually is visible in his demeanor. He was a guy who frequently would pout, as a rookie, and in his second year, if things didn't go his way, if he wasn't making his shots. Now he's got a much more upbeat, sort of team-first style demeanor about him, and Greg Popovich couldn't be happier.
Deliberate possession, as per usual by the Rockets. Drop step by Yao Ming, but too many steps. Traveling violation.
Well, we asked Greg Popovich before the game, will anybody else play against Yao Ming? He said, yeah, we're going to throw Tony at him. And here Massenberg does a great job. Of course, you and I thought he was talking about Parker, but you can see why he put Massenberg on him. He forces the travel there. He's an excellent defender.
Did you think Greg was pulling your leg?
I thought he was. I think you thought so too.
I did.
Well, he usually does pull our legs. So even when he's serious, he's the boy who cried wolf. We don't even believe him when he's telling the truth.
All right, here's Duncan. Handled by McGrady. Just under 6 minutes to play. First half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. We are in Houston. Rockets up by 2. Taylor. Poor shooting continues, although the Spurs have picked it up the last couple of minutes. Duncan feeling around for the defender, and then a strip. Good play. Back comes McGrady. Barrett for Yao Ming. Good look from Andre Barrett.
Now Popovich wants a timeout, and Tim Duncan not happy, not getting the call at the other end, but beautiful feed here in the 5-on-4 fast break. Watch Andre Barrett penetrating into the lane and then finding the wide open Yao Ming for the slam.
I say, get your shine on, get your shine on, get your shine on. So pimpin' style, man.
In this game, you got to remember one thing: never fold. Birdman loves.
Jason Bourne is back.
Get Bourne!
Packed with pulse-pounding extras.
Why are they still after me?
In the explosive thriller that will blow your mind.
He's still out there. Get him.
The Bourne Supremacy. Now on DVD.
Are you happy with your job? Are you getting the pay, the benefits, the perks you deserve? If not, listen to this. James Hardie has immediate job openings. This manufacturing company in Fontana treats their employees better than any other company in the Inland Empire. Great pay, health insurance, 401k matching, 2 weeks paid vacation your first year. They even treat their employees to tickets to sporting events, concerts, and theme parks. Call the James Hardie Job Line now, 909-349-3599.
The perfect gift is waiting at your local BMW center. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
The NBA on TNT. Brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Tucson. It's perfect for whatever, whenever. And by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Steve, I know you have remained tight with your former teammates in San Antonio, in particular your close friend Tim Duncan. Now, this is the scene prior to the start of the game when Tim came over to our broadcast location. I felt this would be very emotional. Here comes Tim. Shake hands and, oh, that's terrible.
Uncalled for.
He snubbed you.
How soon they forget, Marv. I mean, doesn't he remember how I carried him all those years? Oh, no, I'm sorry. He carried me. I forgot.
I particularly enjoyed that moment.
I'm sure you did. Tell you what, this guy has an unbelievable sense of humor, and he rarely shows.
Look at that.
Look at that. Come on. He dissed me, Marv. I like using that word, diss. He dissed me. The guy is so funny, and he rarely shows it to the media. He's one of those guys who doesn't say much, but behind the scenes, he frequently has his teammates in stitches. A guy just with a very dry sense of humor.
Snappy one-liners.
Snappy one-liners, and moments like that where he playfully jokes with his teammates.
All right, here's Devin Brown who just checked back in. Devin Brown in his third year from the University of Texas, San Antonio. Grew up in San Antonio. Has done the job shooting from downtown. He's 11 of 22 from beyond that three-point line. And Tracy McGrady, after the slow start, has come on. Tracy has 10 points.
McGrady getting going here. You mentioned Brown, Marv. This guy has been such a good addition for the Spurs. Really, they didn't expect a whole lot out of him, but he had that great playoff series against the Lakers and now shooting well, just like Tony Parker is for the Spurs. And Brown, another one of those San Antonio players, very mild-mannered, egoless, just wants to play well, help the team. They've done a nice job of putting together a great group of guys.
Devin Brown, you recall, played well in the postseason last year in the series against the Lakers. Sure had to put the brakes on. Here's Barrett penetrating, fires one up. Rebounded by Taylor. Good hands by Taylor, but he's rejected by Duncan. Just under 4 remaining in the first half. Parker way off, got glass.
Had the distance, wide left.
Yes. Owen got a piece of that dribble. Yao Ming is fouled. Yao going to that drop step. Devin Brown came over to commit the foul. Patrick Ewing, an assistant coach with the Rockets, so adept with that drop step move, which Yao has been showing more and more of. Although the first time he did travel.
Well, Ewing used to travel too. They
yes, he did.
Didn't call it.
Minor national coverage of the NBA continues this week. Tomorrow, it's a doubleheader on ESPN. Coverage starting 7:30 p.m. with Philadelphia at Chicago, followed by Portland at Utah. And then Saturday on NBA TV, it's Sacramento and Indiana. Coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
He didn't think my comment about Ewing's traveling tendencies were a result of my bitterness as a longtime goal with the rivalry that we had. You think that was part of it?
Here's Robert Horry, who just came on. Yes, the opposition always very vocal about that drop step move by Patrick Ewing.
Knick fans always claimed that Jordan traveled, so we're even. Great feed by Andre Barrett. Look at the penetration. This guy has done a really nice job of coming in and playing with authority. And this is a guy who wasn't expected to be in the NBA. He's come out and played with a lot of confidence.
And he has helped Yao Ming's game with the setups. Yao is 10 of Houston's last 12 points. Rockets up by 4. Coming up on 2.5 remaining in the first half. McGrady showing confidence. 12 points for Tracy McGrady, along with 7 rebounds and 3 steals.
Well, you can see his body language has changed. All of a sudden, he's into the game. He got a couple jumpers to go down. Now he's able to work Bowen a little bit on the perimeter off those screen and rolls.
Parker getting it inside, but Horry rejected. Here comes Sura. He has Barrett to his left. Broken up by Bowen. Good play by Bowen, and last touch by Barrett.
The Houston 1-2 punch, Yao and McGrady helping the Rockets get off to this 6-point lead. First it's Yao with a 2-hand slam, and then it's Tracy McGrady coming off the screen, knocking down the jumper.
Sorry, man.
No. You may think this is the saddest thing you've ever seen. I mean, this is Carmelo Anthony. Superstar athlete. This hotel room should be a mess with chicks and ladies and all kinds of unmentionables. Yet, I don't see. What is this, milk? Who taught him how to be famous? Duncan, man, Duncan!
You may be doing it. You may be doing it. You may be doing it. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
The all-new 2005 Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty. Perfect for whatever, whenever.
Oppressed and conquered by those we sought to escape. On this day we will spare no one. Kill zone, rated M for mature.
See what it's like to fly. Get a wireless laptop with technology designed for mobile performance. Make sure it has Intel Centrino mobile technology built in.
The ring must be destroyed.
Experience the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring.
Cannot do this alone.
3 nights in a row. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Starting tomorrow night at 8, only on TNT.
Coming up on the Verizon Wireless halftime report, highlights of red-hot Seattle playing at Dallas, and Charles and Kenny will be discussing Kobe Bryant's recent comments concerning Karl Malone. Steve, I would think San Antonio would be a leading candidate in the Karl Malone sweepstakes. I would think he would fit in extremely well with the Spurs.
Well, I think so too. Greg Popovich told us earlier he's been after him for 2 years. He said he hasn't talked to him this year, but that certainly if Karl wanted to come, he'd probably take him, and why not? He'd be an excellent addition to an already strong front line.
Just under 2 minutes to play in this first half. Here's Ginobili for 3. Kept alive by Duncan. Parker with a good save. Parker now guarded by Barrett. Horry. Duncan off the double is fouled.
Smart play by Duncan. One of the things I've always respected about him is even when he's struggling from the foul line, he's not afraid to go in there and draw a foul. He knows that if he's struggling a bit from the field, maybe not scoring, he's 2 for 10 here tonight, he's going to get to the rim, get to the line, get fouled.
Foul on Taylor. For more on Karl Malone, let's go to Craig.
Well, Steve mentioned that Greg Popovich is interested in Karl Malone, but had not talked to him since this summer. I talked to his agent today, Dwight Manley. Karl Malone says, he stepped back and let me do my thing. When the time is appropriate, I will talk with Greg Popovich. I asked Manley when that time would be. His comment was, at this point, I cannot say anything. And when Dwight Manley says he can't say anything, it might be more than if he does say something.
Marv, I wish that you'd step back and let me do my thing sometimes.
I'm constantly stepping back, but I'm waiting for you to do your thing. Rockets 36, Spurs 32 with a minute 20 remaining in this first half. Houston Rockets at 8 and 11. At one point, they lost 5 in a row. They won their last 2 over Philadelphia and New Orleans. In a stretch, playing 9 of 10 games at home. Yao Ming gets it down low. Nice pass from O'Connor. And the Rockets have a 6-point advantage.
Well, Spurs went to his own defense, and Rockets did an excellent job of being patient, working the ball, and finally getting a nice penetration from Barrett.
Horry passed on the 3. And the call against San Antonio. Offensive foul on Horry.
Excellent job by Houston stepping in. I believe it was Maurice Taylor stepping in and absorbing the contact from Robert Horry. Jeff Van Gundy's got to be thrilled, Marv, with the way this game has gone. Remember, before the game, he told us he really wants to keep San Antonio out of the lane. Well, they've certainly done that tonight. Only 8 only 8 points in the paint for the Spurs.
And that is last touched by Yao. Looked like he jammed a finger.
And along with those 8 points in the paint, 0 fast break points. So Houston doing a fantastic job defensively. We'll see if they go 2 for 1 here.
Ginobili draws the double and is fouled by Sora. Rockets now over the foul limit. San Antonio has a foul to give. Manu Ginobili out of Argentina, led Argentina to the gold medal in the 2004 Olympics in Athens, averaged 19 a game. You see how far he has come in his 3 years in the NBA.
I think he's got a chance to be an all-star this year, and I really believe that he and Parker transformed this San Antonio team. They used to be a club that was very stiff, very stodgy. They had too many guys like me who just like to sit out there and shoot 3-pointers. They didn't have enough athleticism. Now all of a sudden you've got Ginobili slashing and creating, and Parker doing the same thing. They've become more of a pick and roll and running team than that standstill half-court team that they were for years.
In fact, when they had Steven Jackson, that's why they liked Jackson, because he provided that element. Here's McGrady with time running out. Final seconds of this first half. Here comes Ginobili, gets it away. So you're referring to yourself as a stiff?
I was a stiff. You know, they talk about big stiffs a lot. I was a small stiff. But you know what? I stuck it out. Yes. I made it.
Well, at halftime, Manu Ginobili leading the way for San Antonio with 13. Yao Ming has 13. Tracy McGrady has 12. Let's go to Craig with Tracy.
Well, Tracy, as a 2-time defending scoring champion, what's your assessment of this game that's 38-34 at intermission?
It was definitely a great defensive game. This team is working for every shot, and you know, we're just trying to make it hard on them. You know, the one thing I think people misunderstand about San Antonio, it is Tim Duncan, but it's those guys do a great job of driving and kick. And I think they get a lot of teams get caught up into trying to double team Tim Duncan. Those other guys are making plays, driving, drawing everybody in and kicking out and knocking down shots.
Does Bruce Bowen get under your skin when he tries to guard you so closely?
Hey, he's a pest, man. He's one of the great defensive players in this league, and he make you work for everything, and it's a challenge.
All right, thanks a lot. The score right now, 38-34. The Rockets with a lead at intermission. Let's go to Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta.
All right, thank you very much, Segs. Just what you would expect for the number 1 and number 2 teams in points per game allowed, San Antonio and Houston, 38-34.
That's a misleading stat.
38-34,
no,
the Rockets. 38-34, the Rockets over.
If you walk the
Spurs.
ball up the court, of course you're not going to score a lot of points, or the team that you're playing against is not either. So
I'm just saying.
Kind of misleading.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, stat man, he's correct.
He may be correct. I'm just saying.
He may be, he is
it's bad
I'm
offense.
just saying.
That's right. It's bad offense.
I'm hearing Tracy McGrady saying both teams making each other work for shots.
San Antonio plays good defense.
Both teams making each other work for shots.
Rockets don't play good defense.
They walk the ball up.
38-34, the number 1 and 2 teams in points per game allowed. Playing
You're driving us crazy.
Hey, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Kobe Bryant and Karl Malone. Now Karl Malone has recovered from off-season knee surgery. Going to make a decision next month on whether he's going to come back and play. Now, Kobe Bryant said it's not really fair to hold Malone's situation over the guys' heads that are here. I mean, you can't sit up here and speculate over the remainder of the season whether or not he's going to come back. Karl Malone says, when your star player doesn't want you here, I take hints seriously, which means that Kobe had to offer an apology, which sounded like this.
Like I said, it was in no way intended to, attack towards Karl or anything like that. I just want to make sure that, my players know that I believe in them and I believe in what we have. So if Karl comes back, it's going to be a tremendous addition to our ball club. But if he doesn't, I'm fine with rolling with the guys that we have here because I have confidence in them too.
Okay, who you with, Kobe or Karl here?
I'm with Kobe Bryant. Karl Malone's wrong in this instant. I totally agree. First of all, he didn't say anything inappropriate. I just happened to be in L.A. and saw all the stuff he said. I think Karl is wrong. In fairness, what I think Karl is doing, he realized the Lakers are not going to be very good. Karl's playing for a championship. He's going to go to San Antonio or Miami. Those quotes by Kobe just gave him a good reason not to go back to the Lakers, because he had said all along, if I come back to play, I'm going to play for the Lakers. Karl's my boy, but he is wrong.
So you've seen a 10-8 start, you think, and have said, that's not where I want to.
Well, the Lakers aren't going to win the championship with Karl Malone. And the Spurs, with or without Karl Malone, going to win it.
Chet?
I think the comments were appropriate in Kobe's. The initial comments were appropriate, and the secondary comments were even better. I think if you sit in the locker room and you ask consistently about if someone's going to join your team, and you say, yeah, we need him because we're not playing well at the power forward position, that's a shot. That's a shot to the guys who've been there in training camp and working hard. So the appropriate thing to say is, yeah, you know what? I'm fine with our guys. We work hard. We're not going to pay attention to that situation. We're not going to hold that cloud over our heads. I thought those were all appropriate comments.
Can Karl still be effective?
He's 62 years old. He can be solid. He can be solid. He's a role player at this stage of his career. A role player won't help the Lakers. And like I said, I think the Spurs got the best team in the NBA by far. He could go there and win a championship. If he goes to Miami, it's going to be a lot harder down there. But he's a role player at this stage of his life.
And I always have a little problem with the word role player because everyone has a role. Some are just scoring more than others. Now, his scoring role will be diminished in any team he goes on, and he's not going to have that role as an integral part of the scoring. So his job is to defend, to rebound on a smaller scale, and give people spot minutes, even more than him getting relieved. He's relieving other people now. And I think that's the difference in this stage of his career.
And we'll see if San Antonio is indeed here where he winds up. San Antonio tonight, by the way, trailing Houston 38-34 in a matchup of the top 2 teams in terms of points allowed in the NBA.
We sick of you saying that.
Yao Ming, by the way, has 13 points, and T-Mac has 12. We'll be back.
See, if they ran like that, they wouldn't.
The Halftime Report is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the NBA.
Can you hear me now? Good.
I love this game because you know what? Little guys can make a big difference.